Hey, Don here. Okay, back in with another live stream, and kind of watching my preview, make sure everything's working over there. Okay, yeah, I tried to start already. I forgot to move my mic. I was going to talk on my SM58 here, and I had it up there. It turns back and forth the way I have it set up. I had it up there, and I couldn't figure out for 5 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, why my sound was low in my preview over there. So good thing I check my live stream. All right, so I'm going to go back to work on the computers today. I've been messing around with ordering Christmas presents and checking them out, make sure they're all going to work before, so that in time, before I could get something else if it was, broken or whatever. And it came DOA. Got to worry about that these days. So everything was good. Everything that did something, that is. I didn't have to check one of them. So let's see. I got a to-do list over here, and let's see. Okay, this is my plan for at least to get started today. I probably can't do it all, is what I'm trying to say. I need to back up my videos. That I have taken a few videos in the last month or so. Well, actually, it's been a while since I backed it up, so I need to back all them up. What I do is I back them up and then delete them off the phones, and hopefully I'm going to be able to just use I have SSH a program called SSH Droid installed on my phone so that I can copy it over the Wi-Fi network, which usually works good, but sometimes when the videos are like 3 gigabytes and over, they just sit there and hang up. They act like it's copying, but it's not. It's not working. I've waited hours before, and so kind of make sure that I'm not trying to copy any files that are for some. I don't know why. I don't believe there's any restrictions on the app or anything like that. I think it's an open source app, so we shouldn't have any. And then I decided that I got this brand new 8 terabyte, 7.3, 23 terabytes is all you get. Seagate USB Backup Drive, and I want to reformat it to a Linux file system because my 5 terabyte one broke three or four times, and I had to fix that NTFS file system. That's always happened on and off in NTFS file systems, and sometimes they break and you can't fix them. Then you lose your data, or you might be able to get it back with test disk. Like if you lose a partition or something. If it gets broken so bad the partition gets broken instead of like the lost, well, I don't know. I know how to do this stuff, but I don't know how to explain it that well. So anyway, I don't want to get to that point. So what I want to do is get this thing ready to use because it came with NTFS, and I don't want that anymore. I went with that on the other one simply because I could just plug it straight into a Windows machine, and it would be compatible with it too. But I actually don't have anything. I say this all the time lately. I don't have any Windows machines running right now except for my WinXP virtual machine on this machine here, the Lenovo i5, one I'm streaming on. And there are programs. It's called EXT4 There's a program that it was built back when Linux used EXT2. Now it was 3, and now there's EXT4, and then there's some others that it can use. But it still works. I know it works with EXT3. I tried it. I don't know about 4. We'll see. So I need to make sure and remember to check that. And yeah. And if I decide, I'm thinking about using something like, there's one that I've read about on and off over the last few years. I think is it Riser FS? I already did some research. I'll go back and look. There's a couple I could consider, only if I don't want it to not be at all compatible with Windows machines. So I may end up going back with Ext4. One good thing about it is if it gets any problems with it, if it's plugged into this machine or any Linux machine, it's going to get automatically checked every so often, just like your check for errors and fix, just like your your hard drives will. This is a hard drive, but your hard drives that are inside the system. I can't say the right words here, but yeah, I want to go back and finish. I already did a couple of videos on it, and I didn't. I went off. I quit because I went to Christmas shopping, and then I thought, well, I got to get back to fixing my server, and then I kept, and that was what I was going to do, but finishing my server. But I thought, man, if I get caught in the middle of the, I need these. I really had. I had. Well, there's been several times in the last couple of months where that 5 terabyte, I've had it plugged into my Lenovo Wi-Fi, and I'm looking back up, always backs up my files every time I boot up. After about 10 minutes, it starts doing a backup. Well, sometimes it doesn't mount, and so far the file system hasn't broken again in the last several months. But the bad thing about those Seagate drives is I can't show them. Where I have them. Let's see. Well, back up in there. Behind the phone. There's no point in even trying to show it because I have them stacked up in there in the dark and you can't see them. So anyway, I've done videos on how the problems with the USB cables. They use a proprietary USB cable connector on that end that goes into the drive, one that they've made up for theirs. Which in one hand it could be good because it'll keep you from accidentally plugging in. You buy a cheap cable or H cable that turns out to be a piece of crap. Some of them are just flat shorted. They're just wire swapped, and you would burn up your drive. It would burn itself up, or anything could happen. Or but you could just literally cause the drive to short out and burn the electronics up in it. So that could save you from that, but they made that thing about a 1/4 inch long, that connector, the physical connector, the one, the male side coming out of the cable. And I noticed how loose it was, when I first got it, it wasn't too bad, but I thought, boy, that's a problem waiting to happen. Well, and I don't move it around, carry it places or anything, but just the little bit of movement it gets being, in amongst the other cables there in that spot, it has loosened up. Because the female side is it's a metal connector, but I'm sure it's not it's not that tough of metal. It can loosen up, so it has, and now if you sneeze at it, it can fall out, and you never know when it's going to fall out or not, and that also can cause you to lose data if it comes loose while you're writing, backing up or. What it has, like I said, it'll cause it to, when it powers down, that would power it down. And if it gets powered down in the middle of a write, then it can break the NTFS file system. That may be what happened to it. There might have been, I don't know for sure, that, I have forgotten and turned it off. Well, I have it plugged into power strips, and I got to always remember when I'm shutting down this computer to wait till this computer's completely shut down before I turn off the power strip, so that I don't. It shouldn't be writing during that time, but there is, the risk that it could possibly. I don't know why it would be if you're not doing it right, but you're manually. That's how they. I'm not Lucky Backup doesn't run right before you shut down. Unless maybe it was running and you just for some reason decided I need to reboot the computer, that might happen. So anyway, it's possible that one of the times that I caused it by, turning the power strip off is what I'm saying. But the other times, it was most likely that cable just came loose, just loose enough to power it down right in the middle of a write. Or of course you can have power loss, like when the power, when you have lightning, thunderstorm or something, the power goes out. So anyway, going on about that, every time I talk about it, I feel like I have to try to explain it. It kind of it is completely. It's the reason I'm doing all this. So, okay, so I'm going to research the file systems a little more, make sure which one I want, and then maybe I'll actually get started on backing up the Red Black BioStar, the Fedora 14 system. I've got 3 or 4 drives in it, I think. It used to be my main system. And so my backup drives were just in that system. It's a big desktop, had plenty of room, and had a big enough power supply to run extra hard drives. Big enough fans, enough fans in it and everything to keep it cool. So, like I have a couple of 320s and a one terabyte and 250 gigabyte or something. I don't remember what each one is, but I think that might be pretty close to right what I just said. So anyway, most of them don't have a lot of space on them left, and they're all in that one machine. Well, I've got other machines that could be good running machines, but I don't have any hard drives, big enough to even bother with hardly anymore. I've got like 3 or 4 around. Well, in here I've got 2 at least that are dead, that died, physical failure, and some old ones out in the garage, and hard drives sometimes die, So that's why you really need more than one backup, and that's another thing. That's why I bought this extra drive, because most of my videos I've been doing, I didn't have room on my this Lenovo i5 has a 250 gigabyte hard drive. Well, that's not big enough to hold any videos, for very long. And so I just had to back them up to that's why I bought the 5 terabyte, and so I backed them up to it and then deleted them off of here. And that's what I've been doing still, even after I reformat. Before I had to divide it in half between Windows 7 and Fedora 23. Now it's just Fedora 28, and so the whole drive is accessible to me, but that's still not enough. That 5 terabyte drive had like 4.5 terabyte usable space when I got it, and it's somewhere around half full already. So that's when I started. When this time of year when they finally, I've been watching that 8 terabyte drive. That's what I really wanted to start with, but I thought, well, I probably don't need that big a drive anyway. And it was high. It was 100 and I think it was $180 something, and then went down to $149 on sale. Well, after a couple of years, it's still the same drive, but it's of course brand new. But it's the same model. I've been watching it. I think it could be a newer model, but anyway, sometimes they do that. You'll put it in your watch list, but the seller will change to the newer model, but it'll show up as the same page, but it's not actually the same product. So anyway, it was $129, I believe, and back in Black Friday weekend, and so I went ahead and got it. And so I checked it out, made sure it worked, started researching the file systems, and then quit because I had so many other things wanted or needed to do. So let's see what else. Oh, and then so if I back up the whole red black BioStar, all those backup drives, I can then reformat them and put them in systems and use them for operating systems and stuff if I want to, which I might want to do that for in the next year or so, when I get through with the important things, and if I start playing around with other stuff. Then I need to go back and finish setting up my Fedora 29 server on the NetPro Max. I broke it was a kernel update, and I broke it by shutting the machine down. I got XFCE desktop installed, up and running, and except for you had to use the command line to get into it, and I had Mate installed. But I thought, well, maybe that'll bring in the extra apps I need to get a graphic logon screen. And anyway, I was messing around with it, trying to figure it out, and I decided to reboot it. And I saw a message came up that said, there's a program running, are you sure you want to shut it down? Well, I'm in XFCE, and I don't use it a lot. I'm putting it on there because it's a lot lighter weight. And that NetPro Max, it's a single core. It's a 2.8 gigahertz, but it's a Celeron, and it's a single core. It runs this Fedora 29 fine. It runs XFCE okay, but it's a bit sluggish. I tried Mate. Let's see, no, I haven't had Mate. I haven't got Mate working in it yet. It's installed, but I haven't got it to where I can log into it. So anyway, I messed around, and I think that was my 3rd video of that day, and I've been up for hours and hours, and I should have stopped before then. But anyway, Mate tells you have updates running. Are you sure you want to shut down? And you're like, oh, heck no, Well, XFCE just said you have a program running. I couldn't think what program it could be. It didn't dawn on me that, maybe it was backing up. What it was is I had the server up inside the Cockpit Remote Admin app. I had turned it on to auto backup. And I don't even know if there's, an icon in the XFCE showing you, that the DNF, not backup, auto update was running. I turned on auto updates in Cockpit Remote Admin app, and it was later I figured out that's what was going on. Of course, I figured it out. I knew it had to be what was going on when the kernel was broken like that. It's just hardly ever happens. But luckily, you know, it was like there was the old kernel and the new kernel, so I could still get into it to work and try to fix it without having to do everything in the command line. But I haven't tried again. So that's the next thing, which I don't imagine I'll do today. But so why am I still talking about it? I don't know. And I need to fix that and then also figure out how to get my logon screen. I think I saw some apps on an instructional page that you need to install. Well, one of them just said, I think it was about Mate Desktop, yeah, and it said install Mate Desktop group, and I did. Well, that didn't work. So there's some commands that had to run to even be able to log into XFCE Desktop through the terminal. You just type start X, and then it starts it right up. But that's the one that starts up. Maybe if did I run those for Mate? Yeah, I thought I did. Yeah, I ran those commands for Mate too. You can do it for both of them, but it didn't. It still just goes to XFCE. So anyway, there's another program that said there's another one, a different graphic user program, a logon program that you said. Alternatively, you can install this. I forgot the name of it. But it's not one that rings a bell like I was thinking that's the one they always used before. You know, they'd use normally in Fedora. And so I thought, well, I don't want some odd program in there, but that may be what I'm going to have to do. In Fedora 23 server, all I remember having to do was just install the desktops, and then that's when I discovered the page with the commands to get them up and working, and I didn't have to. There may be some other things I did that I don't remember, though. Anyway, that was a lot of rambling just to explain what I was going to do. I always tell myself, just go to work and don't spend forever explaining, because when people do that, it kind of bugs the heck out of me. So yeah, so I do it anyway, don't I? All right, so well, back to my notes. Okay, yeah, start off with back up the phones. All right, what have I got up here? Oh, okay. I was looking at more notes. Actually, that was a sheet that was something with passwords on it for the phone. So, because with the, if you don't know what SSH is, it's a secure. I'm not going to do a secure shell. I'm going to do secure FTP. I'm going to FTP in them to copy files. So, if you don't know what it is, then it's just a command line program that you can do these things with. I don't know how to really explain it right now. My brain is half out of it. I wanted to get work done, so my brain's been out of it today, yesterday too, really. But anyway, I wanted to get work done, so I'm trying. I'm doing my best. Okay, so let's go to the endoscope, and I'm going to show you what it is I'm talking about. I think I'll switch to the wireless mic, because I'm going to have to turn sideways to get to that phone. And I figure I'll leave the mic now. Let's put the mic up there. Maybe that'll remind me that I'm not on it. Let's make sure it's all working out okay. Okay, let's wake this phone up. I think I'll have to hit the power button. It's been asleep a while. Okay, let's see. I can't see the screen. Yeah. Okay, now, what's the weather thingy doing there? I don't know why. There. Okay, so it happens to be on this phone that it's right there. SSH Droid's among the first ones you see. It's actually not the home page. I can't get it to stay on its home page. It won't go to it right. Every time I fix it, it just does this again, so I'm just living with it. So anyway, I've got it all set up already, so all you do is start the app. It tells you, okay, here's your IP address, what router you're on, and you go to the, in this case, 192.168.0.181, port 2222. That's the default port. And I set up a password, and it's just called SSH Droid. It's a great app, and it's not, it doesn't require you to work in the command line to set it up. I said it was a command line app, but I guess because the icon shows you a command line and all that stuff, it made me think that. But really, it's a graphic app to do what SSH is a command line application, for Linux, but there are graphic user interfaces for it. So I guess that's the way I should have said it. Okay, so let's leave it right there. I think I kind of have things. I actually put my endoscope to the right of me up on my desk, and normally I don't like to do that because I can't. It gets in the way of my drinks and stuff, and usually it's not that useful to have it over there anyway. But in this case, I thought, you know what, trying to show the phones on the endoscope that's just right for that. Up and running. I already forgot the IP. Well, I guess I can look at it. There's a couple ways I can find it even if I couldn't see the screen. But okay, so now here is, okay, well this is my Fedora 14 Red Black Battlestar system. It's the one I think I'm going to use because I want to illustrate something. Okay, this is my video I'm making here. Now this is the 8 terabyte backup drive, and I actually sidetrack, but this is probably a good one. These are both the same brand but different size of drives, right? Well, on the Fedora 28 here, which I think it would have happened in 23 on, or maybe before that, what I did is I unplugged the 5 terabyte and plugged it into the Red Black Battlestar so that I could use it to do my copying to the 5 terabyte backup drive. And then I plugged in, well, I had it plugged in already in a different port, but it wasn't plugged into the AC power. Then I plugged the 8 terabyte drive into the AC power and it booted up. It comes up, it comes up, and this is Krusader File Manager. It came up showing what it is, 7.3 terabyte. I was saying 23. It's 7.3 terabyte. And the files that are on there were an accident. I had it plugged in. What I had done, I was doing something, I don't remember what. I unmounted the other one. I went over here and I said right click unmount. See, and they show up with the exact same name, and this is part of why this happens. This is why this happens, I think. And anyway, I unmounted the 5 terabyte and this one was still plugged in, rebooted the machine for some reason, and so Lucky Backup after started running after 10 minutes and started backing up my system. And I was actually waiting for it to back up, and I think what I had done is, I don't know if I forgot to plug the 5 terabyte back in or I plugged it back in after. Anyway, I had left them both plugged in, is what I'm trying to say. And I had unplugged and replugged in the 5 terabyte. Well, what happened is it made this one the first Seagate expansion drive that the system saw, and the first one, it made its address the same address that I put into Lucky Backup. Should have just showed it, I guess, but that takes a while to do that too. So anyway, if you have two of these Seagate drives and you're running Fedora 28 for sure, you may experience something like that. And I mean, you could probably rename them, and stuff like that. And that's actually what I may do. Well, actually, I don't want to rename the 8 terabyte because then I have to redo all my, it's pretty complicated setting up my profiles in Lucky Backup. So it's actually going to be a benefit to me. I'm going to leave this one named just like it is. And whatever, and when I reformat it, I want to make sure that it's, CK space expansion space drive. And hopefully that'll all work. And there won't be, I won't have to rework all my Lucky Backup profiles and all that stuff. And I'll go ahead and use that as a USB drive because its cable is new, and it's not loose like the 5 terabyte. But the 5 terabyte, I'm gonna I think I'm gonna take it out of that box. It's out of warranty now, so it won't be hurting anything on my warranty. I don't want to do it to the 8 terabyte because it's in warranty. But I'm going to take it out of that box, and then I may use it as my system drive in the Lenovo i5 is my first thought. Either that or, well, it wouldn't make any sense to have the biggest drive, the smaller of the drives be. I thought about putting it in that Acer laptop and making that Acer laptop a backup server, which I think would be more dependable and just back everything up through the network. First time would be slow, but after that it wouldn't take, it wouldn't take all that long. Actually, it might not be that slow because I've got gigabit Ethernet and everything. So, anyway, there it is, and the reason it's plugged in, and the reason I want to make sure the 5 terabytes not plugged in, is because I'm planning on reformatting the 8 terabyte. I'll just call them what they name them. I'll get mixed up if I try to think of the real size. I don't want to have that 5 terabyte plugged in and then accidentally reformat it and lose all my backups. So that's another reason why I unplugged it from this machine. But the first reason, the reason I decided to do it was so that I could do my backups. And now, okay, I went around and around about that. Okay, now let's get that IP address in the scope again. Okay, 192.168.181.2222. Okay. Oh, let's get back on my SM58. I like it much better, and I don't think I'll be twisting and turning now away from the mic. So, okay, we should be back on the SM58 now. All right, now I had to just check my sound to make sure I didn't have a problem. Okay, so now if the reason, and the reason that I'm going ahead and doing it, and first reason I decided to do it in the older machine is because I'll show you. Okay, I can't remember numbers for 3 seconds. 192.168.0.181.181.2222. Okay, now this is how I used to do it. One 192.168.0.181 port 2222. See if I can copy that, so I won't have to retype it over and over. What does it say up there? Error, protocol not supported by Krusader. Now this is where I learned to do this in Krusader. So I thought I must, sometimes I was in the last year or so it hasn't been working. Well, ever since I think it quit. I don't know if it quit working in Fedora 23 or Fedora 28. I can't remember. So there you go. There's how much trouble I have with my memory sometimes. But so I've been saying this. Maybe I think I have a vague memory of maybe it doesn't support login by password by doing it that way. Login by password. It quits supporting login by password, but if you have your SSH keys, in both the client and the server machine set up, then it will just it'll go straight in. It'll automatically log in with the keys. I can't think of all the right words, and it won't ask you for a password. But I tried that. I remember trying that, and I couldn't get it working. I don't know if I messed up or if it just flat really means that it don't support it anymore. But if you go over here in Fedora 14 in Krusader, and I think I should be able to copy and paste. Yep. Now see, I don't get that error. Now it should just ask me for a password. Might take a bit. Okay, do I trust that machine? Yes, I do. There. Now we need a username. Oh, wait. Let's go ahead and go with root to make sure I can go. Well, it doesn't make a heck of a lot of difference on these Android phones that I have. You still can't go to the actual system and copy files, but you won't get any restrictions everywhere else though. So let's see. Now that's why I had this other paper out. Okay, there we are, and it takes you to, you can set what directory you want to go into. I'm in SD card O, which is the onboard flash memory on the thing. And what I usually do is just back everything up, and then SD card 1, I believe, is could be the opposite. I think it might be. I have SD. Yeah, that's the onboard memory right there. I think I try to make all of my. See, I try to move all. I move all my programs, all but the one or two that I can't move, it won't let me. To I don't see. Let me kind of give this a real close look. I don't see the folders for my, you know, my videos and all that stuff. Okay, IP webcam videos, which I don't think there may or may not be any in there, but I'm wondering is where. Okay, maybe you have to go. SD card 1. Unless yeah, there's two. See, it's weird that they call it SD card because one of them's an onboard flash memory that is soldered to the board, and the one that comes with your phone, and then the other one's an SD card. It doesn't have two SD cards. But I'm not seeing my, you know, media folders and all that stuff. Let's go into that emulated legacy and see if it shows up. That is not expected at all. I don't know why. Let's see. Oh, there we go. It lets you go. That you can go a little further back. Okay, so I was in storage, and that's where it went to by default. And I just normally I remember how to get around. That's the system stuff, and most of that you can't copy. Let's see if there's more in there. Mount. No. See, now this is Linux. It's just like Linux. I mean, it is a Linux file system set up in Android. You know, it's not. They always say Android runs on the Linux kernel, and that's the only similarity, but the file system is the same too. It's not much different at all. I mean, it's basically the same. Mount, secure shell. But these are most of this stuff is the stuff you can't copy. You can read it. Maybe we can't even read it all. If you rooted the phone, you could, but yeah, see, there's the root folder. You can't go into the root folder. You can't go into SBIN, SD card. There's another way you can get into that. I'm beginning to wonder, am I blind or what? Why can't I see the folders? It's been a little while since I've, you know, went in here in one of these phones to back things up. But I'm just flat not seeing the normal folders. Let's see. That I expected to see. I expected to be just right there where I saw the in storage. I expected, you know, one of them would have all my folders right there, and the other one would have the, you know, one would have my SD card folders, and yeah, that Kingsoft Office is one that you can't move. So that makes me think I actually am on the onboard memory then. IP webcam videos, there's no videos, just the scripts that makes it run and stuff. Documents, I made that folder. Backups, I think that program made, one of the programs I have made that folder. You see, I back up everything, not just my videos and stuff when I do this. But what I'm trying to do is make sure I am going to be getting what I want. See, that movies folder is for that program that I don't even use anymore. Didn't get what I expected. And I can't remember any reason why I wouldn't. I haven't got this. This phones are fairly old. They haven't got an update in a long, you know, well, since I bought them. They were old when I got them. That's why I got them for $15 each. But older versions, you know. But they're quad cores with a gig of RAM. If they had 2 gig, it'd be really nice. But they're great for phone, you know. For I guess they're fine for phones. I don't put service on them. I'm just using them for cameras and stuff. Thought I might use them for little pocket computers, but I can't read the screens. So, okay, let me go through here a little further. But at any rate, I don't think this has anything to do with the fact that I'm running Fedora 14, though. But at any rate, my point about that I wanted to illustrate. I've been complaining a lot lately about not being able to do this in Krusader, and maybe you can see how nice it is navigating through here compared to FileZilla. It's just I'm just navigating with my arrow keys, you know, and enter key, and it's just that's what I'm used to. And so the way you in FileZilla, if you hit enter in some places, it tries to open up a new connection, and the next place it doesn't, and all kinds of weird things. And then if you don't watch out, it'll automatically start trying to rename the folder you're in. And that takes you to one of the SD cards, but it's not. Okay, now I'm a bit. So storage is where I want it to be, but for some reason I'm not getting what I want. Not seeing my videos and everything, and I know there's some on there. I mean, the folder should be there even if they were empty. So think how I can do this. Well, I can try a different phone, I guess, for right now, and see if the same thing happens. Now let me do that because yeah, it could be that you don't have a log out with this program here. You can just go to, like, I'll just put this back in the same folders on both sides and then close Krusader and open it back up. It should log it out and log it back in. So yep, it's already closed. So okay, now I'm controlling this Fedora 14 system over remote desktop, so it's just a little bit slower than it would be. But it can't handle running OBS Studio and streaming straight from it. Plus, when I want to work on more than one machine, that's the best way to do it. So get this open back up again, and I wonder, let's see, I'll let that, well, now it's done. I have to go find the IP address of the other phone, and I guess I'll go ahead and do what I was thinking of. Open up the web browser and see I have shortcuts in my browser here in my, my, what do you call it, bookmarks toolbar to each phone, and yeah, there. See, I can just hover over that and get the IP addresses. So I'll just choose phone 2. That was phone 3, so I'm going to do phone 2 this time. It's just 141. Okay. Now these are so that I can log into the cameras, the IP webcam app, and zoom in and do a bunch of settings and stuff. But that's not what I'm wanting to do. I'm just getting the IP address. So this is 141. Okay. Now, I think what I'll do is paste. I still have that in there, so I'll just 141. Yeah. SFTP. Unless I should have went ahead and logged in as Dawn instead of root, but I don't think so. Let's just still go. It's kind of odd because on these Android phones you don't really get root privileges. Maybe I should have just tried Dawn this time. Let's just do that, because if it works right off the bat, I don't think there's any files in the folders I want. That could have been my problem. So any files that I want that I won't be able to access is Dawn. So because I don't have the phones rooted, like I was saying, so I don't have root access anyway. I did root one of them one time, but the bootloader's locked, and so when you reboot it, it just goes right back to normal. There we go. Now I see DCIM right away, and that's where my videos are. So I've got some videos in there, got some in there. So what I need to do is back them up and then delete them, I mean, I got plenty of room. I got 64 gigabyte cards in here, but well, it keeps me from getting confused about what's what. And then, you know, see, SD card O is the 64 gigabyte card, and then I think I should have logged in as Dawn. I think that might have been what was wrong. But there's also a DCIM folder on the onboard memory. The flash, you know, they're both flash memory. SD cards, USB sticks, and phone memory, onboard memory is flash memory. It's all. Anyway, these are not going to have much in them because I set everything up to all pictures, all recordings, everything goes to the. That emulated would take you to the same places. See when it works right. That would take you to the onboard memory though, so we don't want that. So I'm going to start with the SD card. Well, let's start with the onboard because it takes shorter time. Now, I've got my 5 terabyte plugged in. See, it says 4.5 terabyte. This is phone what? I've already forgotten. Let's go back over here. I think I left that browser open. So 141 is phone 2. Okay, so I want to make sure and get them in the right folders. So, yeah, expansion drive. Okay, probably be easier if I did it in alphabetical order. I don't remember how. Okay, there it is. I want phone 2. Now that's my Strontium brand of SD card, so that's what I want. Yeah, that's the. There we go. Oh, I'm in the wrong place, aren't I? Oh, I had decided to. Right. Told you I was confused today. Okay, internal storage. Now, yeah, now see the folders match up. I thought something seemed a little odd there. Now then, synchronize right to left, recurse subdirectories, and that's exactly how I want it. Compare. There won't be much here in these folders. Shouldn't be. If there is, I've got something being saved that I don't want, you know. Oh, now my preview's quit loading over there. Okay. I was going to look over there to play my preview, listen to my sound, and check my preview. And it was, see, the ones that are blue are the ones that are going to be copied. And so sometimes, like, it'll say, oh, do you want to overwrite this file? In this case, I'm going to say apply to all because apply to all and overwrite because that's, you know, I want the newest files. And so now I'm going to go to the backup Strontium SD card and then go to SD card O. And I set, in order to make everything possible right to the SD card, I don't know if the system does that by default, but if it doesn't, I would do that. I would make it the SD card O, like tell the system that. So yeah, this is where I've got movies and stuff. Okay, now we're going to synchronize, compare, access deny. Now here's what I was talking about. Now this doesn't really matter. Access denied to SFTP, storage, SD card O, Android secure. Yeah, secure Android secure folder. It doesn't matter. You know, I don't think you can get access to that without being rooted, maybe. But you know, you really don't want your phone to be rooted and then have a SSH program on it that, like, well, some of these programs, if you leave them running and reboot the phone and you forget to turn it off first, they may stay running when you reboot. IP Webcam will do that sometimes, and so you don't want an SFTP program running and your phone is rooted because anybody that's smart enough might be able to break in there and destroy your phone, steal your data or whatever, wirelessly. Okay, so now that doesn't really need to be overwritten, but it ain't gonna hurt. And actually, let's say skip to that one. What's the next one? Okay, that one, is that the same file or a different file? Uh-oh. It should be a different file, but I don't know for sure. I don't see any reason, though, why I would have, I don't know what program, oh, it's 100 CIN. That's not open camera. That's some other program. I think rather than sit here and play videos and try to figure it out, I'm going to say suggest new name and say apply to all and hit rename. Now sometimes the apply to all doesn't work. Oh, you got to hit suggest new name. Well, let's just do them one at a time then. Sometimes you can hit apply to all and it'll just do it. Now this time it worked. I don't know why. But now here's the thing. I might end up with some pretty good size duplicate videos, you know, if some of those are, I forgot to look and see if any of those are really big. But this could take a while. So that's why, one reason why I thought, okay, I'll do this on this machine, because, and I've been wanting, I just got, you know what, I want to show why I've been griping about this feature being gone from, or not, well, I think it's gone. It says it's gone. It's either gone or I haven't figured out how to set it up again. Like I said, I do have some memories of, I think in Fedora 23, that I got it working by setting up SSH keys. I forgot I'd have to go look in the folders, I guess, to explain what I'm saying. But anyway, I'm going to let this run and get back here on my machine. And I'll open up the .ssh folder on my, let me check my stream again. And make sure everything's working good over there. Okay. Okay, so while that's working away, you see, it's been a while since I've backed them up. Now, see, what I really should have done is paid attention that if I have any, like I was saying, any files over 3 gigabytes, because they probably will just not work. What I think, I know one problem you got to watch out for is your phones can go to sleep on you and it'll quit copying. And in the program here, Krusader will just keep trying to copy it. I don't remember, maybe after a good while, it will finally error out. But that's one disadvantage if it goes so long that the phone, now I'm not talking about the screen going to sleep. I'm talking about like the whole operating system going to sleep, you know. So I think there may be a keep alive function that you can turn on. I'm looking at this phone 3. I could do more connections maybe. No, you can't. You can only do one at a time. I'm going to leave it running. Well, I can plug this phone in and keep it from running down. I was worried about my phone 3 just sitting here running, you know, and running down, but I just realized all I got to do is plug in the charger. I won't show that, but there we go. Now, until I get back to it, okay. Yeah, I didn't have it plugged in because when I'm just there you go, I just plugged it in. When I'm just streaming the audio, you know, that's what I mostly use it for when I'm doing videos. That's all I use it for most of the time. But since that SSH Droid is running and it's got I noticed that screen hasn't gone to sleep and it's been more than 2 minutes, so I think it's causing it to stay. And of course I could, actually I think I can do, I think my cable's long enough to put it right straight under there, but I think I can, OS upside down now. No, which way's which? Well, it don't matter now that it's plugged in. I'll just leave that screen showing. But I was thinking, well, you can hit the home. I guess people that use phones a lot probably know for years that you can hit the home key and it'll leave an app running, but not show its screen. So and that in front and in the background, and so then that stops using as much resources. So yeah, that's not as fast as it would be if you took the SD cards out. Not fast of a copy. A lot slower than if you took the SD cards out and put them into, I have a SD to SD card adapter that you can plug into the USB of your computer. I use that a lot, but that means, you know, open these phones up, taking the battery out, taking the SD card out and all that, and especially the ones that I have in the tripods with, so you take a look at that one up there on top of my monitor. That's camera 1, that's camera 2 looking at it. I have the rubber bands and everything holding them into my tripods, and it's not terrible. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's a pain in the butt to get them out and back in. And this way I can, well, it's the only way I can do it and make a video of it. Well, no, it's not the only way I could do a endoscope. You know, I can do one phone at a time or something. But anyway, so we got that going now. What was the other thing? Oh, yeah, I want to check on the reformatting of the 8 terabyte drive. So I'm gonna get back on the desktop. I am on the desktop, right? All right, I am now, right? Okay, my preview hasn't got there yet. There it is. Okay, so we'll let that copy away. And that's why I planned on a dual purpose video because I knew there'd be a lot of wait time in copying those files. But I thought, well, I might as well just do it that way. Hopefully it will work and be convenient. More convenient. Take longer, but be more convenient, because some of those files could be. The videos I've been making, I used to make all my videos in open camera and then upload them, and you know they'd end up being over 3 gigabytes quite often. But haven't. I usually just make short ones on there that I do my long ones with OBS Studio and record them onto this Lenovo Wi-Fi and stream them at the same time. Then I don't have the extra steps of uploading and all that stuff. Okay, so let's see. We'll go to my got my mic in a kind of a weird. Okay, there we go. I got it in a place to where it was. I couldn't see my keyboard. Thought I had that all set up just right. Okay. I think I'm going to have a folder from my last research of Linux file systems. There we go. Yeah, BTRFS is the one I was, or was it? No, it was either. Well, I don't remember now. We'll look and see. What have I got? Okay, beginner. Okay, it was BTRFS. That was the one that I was really considering. And then RiserFS is one of the ones I ran across in one of the articles I was reading. And I thought, no, wait a minute. I wonder if that would work. Beginner's Guide, GParted. BTRFS is supposed to be really good at dealing with damaged sectors on the drive and stuff, and keeping the drive automatically keeping itself from getting fragmented and stuff. From what that was the promise when it was new, when it became open to the public a few years ago. And I actually tried it out on a Linux distro, and well, to work with it, there wasn't any graphic user apps like GParted or anything to work with it, so I decided. So I never got to find out. I'm not good at that, so I type everything wrong and see everything backwards. So I decided not to use it. Fedora actually defaulted to that for at least one distro. I think it was before Fedora 23. I think it was 21 or 22 or something. But they went away from it and went back to using LVM2 and EXT4s inside of LVM2 for the home partition and the root partition. I just realized that here lately. But I think they just started. I don't think it was that way in Fedora 23. But I know it wasn't. It was EXT4 for the boot partition, EXT4 primary partition for the root partition, and then LVM, I think it was LVM2. And if it was an EXT4 for the home partition inside of there, I just never realized it. It could have been that. But now, home and root are inside the LVM2, and then they're both the EXT4s inside of there. And then your boot partition is the EXT4. So that's what they're doing now. But, okay. Go see what I want to go back to. Let's see. Yeah. Resize is something I was looking at. Resize, BTRFS failed. Go back to working state. BTRFS snapshot on Ubuntu though, not Fedora. Yeah, okay, see, there's a how to install Fedora 15 on BTRFS, so that it was available that far back. But I don't think that's when I'm pretty sure it wasn't that far back when they put it on as the default. So this is, what did I click on now? Oh, that's GParted. Why is that in there? I guess I couldn't think of any other place to put it. That's my favorite partition editing graphic user interface application. But let's see. I think it works. I think it can, yeah, it can handle BTRFS now. It couldn't back then. But that's just to edit partition or to format as BTRFS. Actually, it might have formatted as BTRFS back then. But resizing, I don't know if it can resize. If it can, that'd be all right. Again, I guess one of my main things, what I meant to go is Beginner's Guide to BTRFS, because I want to see if Windows systems can read it. That's the first thing I want to know. Nope, it doesn't say a word about Windows. Okay. I might have to just do a search. Let's see the basics here. Yeah, this is that's kind of just to get. I already went over this in a previous video, so I don't want to spend a lot of time looking over these pages. I just got to refresh my memory enough to know what's going on. BTRFS tools, installing them, and that's a command. This whole thing is all command line stuff, I think. Rescuing a dead BTRFS file system, resizing it. Okay, BTRFS tools, app get install. What about Fedora? Yeah, see, you can do a software RAID with it. That would be cool if you wanted to do that sort of thing. I actually thought, well, you know, I saw something the other day talking about making like 2 or more partitions on the same large drive and then doing RAID or software RAID with it. I think you can do that with BTRFS. Now, that was the other thing that kind of got me interested in it, but I still don't, even with an 8 terabyte and a 5 terabyte, I don't really have enough space to double up my backups. What I'm going to try to start doing is, when I make videos, if I put the 5 terabyte in this Lenovo Wi-Fi, I won't have to delete the original videos for quite a while, and then I'll back them up every day, and I'll have 2 copies like I used to. See, well, I always had my Fedora 14 system. I had the original files, and then I had the backup drives in there, so I had 2 copies of most things. As things started filling up, I began to start deleting some older files off the original drive because I filled up I was filling up my root partition and my home partition. Well, I'd filled it up several times too, and I had to delete older files, but I was at least keeping the newer ones. But really, you don't have backups if you don't have 2 copies. Most people say at least 2 copies. You really just that's not a backup. Backup by definition is a backup. It's not the one and only file. Just because you have it on a separate drive from your main operating system doesn't mean it's a backup. And even just because you name it backup drive doesn't mean it's a backup if it's not at least the second copy. So I'm getting kind of uncomfortable, not having real backups. So, because I've had drives fail and lost things before forever, and I don't want that to happen again. I can stop it. Installing the tools. Okay. Let's go back to that again. I thought there was something about installing the tools, and see, that's for Debian or Ubuntu. Ubuntu's built on Debian. Yeah, this is all command line stuff. Whoops. So I'm not going to stop and read every bit of that. This is a good article. I know, I can see that. I remember, I looked at it before, like I said. Compression, rescuing dead BTRFS file system. Okay, let's see about the rescuing a dead system. Mount O recovery. Oh, okay. Resize, BTRFS resize. At least the commands aren't seriously complicated, but I've always been able to use graphic user interfaces, for in Linux. I remember when I very first started learning some of this. Well, I had a Windows program that I ran in Windows XP. I still have it, but I don't use it anymore. But it was pretty good, but it was proprietary software that had it had like basically a free trial. It would just let you kind of look at your files, and then you had to pay to get them back. Pay for the software, and I did. I bought it because it was pretty cool and easy to use software. But it still did not have its full functionality. It had tiers. You had to pay more and more and more to get full functionality. And I used it here and there, and uh, and then I didn't have the need for it all the time. And then when I got into Linux, I didn't need any of that stuff. I just used open source software that does everything. So I still get emails from them once in a while, and actually once or twice they had a free upgrade, and I downloaded it, but I don't know if I ever even installed it in anything. I don't have anything to run it in now. So let's see. Oh, you can use. Oh, okay. I don't know. I'm not going to sit there and try to. Oh, that's resizing. Okay. That's actually not too complicated of commands, and since they're right there, you could copy them and paste them. But I get really nervous about things as important as resizing drives and all that stuff in the command line, because one little space or dash or forward slash or letter wrong or number wrong, and you've destroyed everything. So, especially if you're resizing your, something you don't have a backup of. I've chickened out. See, I wanted to resize, delete some unused partitions on that Fedora 14 system and resize the drives, because make them bigger, fill up the rest of the drive, but I never even dared do that because I didn't have another backup of that. That's also something I could do. Well, it depends. If it's an LVM, you can. I've got some apps on that Fedora 14 system that can resize LVMs, but well, the home partitions are LVMs, so I could do that. But the ones I made as the EXT3s, just straight primary partition EXT3s, you couldn't actually do that without data loss. So then I would just need to back it up, reformat it, and make it bigger the next time. Anyway, what I'd probably do is use them for system, put operating systems on them, and use my big drives as the backup drives. Balance. It tells you all kinds of cool things to do there. Let's see, let's go back up to the top again. Seeing that little legend or rescuing, adding, deleting hard drives from a VTRFS. Yeah, see, it's set up to be a software RAID, basically. That's kind of, I think that's kind of one of its biggest feature. Rescuing. Mount old recovery, dev SDB mount. Okay, so you'd tell it, well, I guess that's where it's at. or is that, dev SDB recovering, and I think you're going to copy it to mount, I guess. MNT mount. That's the mount in media is where Linux always used to mount everything, and now, look over here where it is, and does it show you? Run, in Fedora, for ever since around 23 or 21 or something, it's run media Dawn Seagate expansion drive. They don't even use the default folders anymore. I don't know why. It still drives me crazy. Used to, you would go to mount, and that's where, or media. It depended on your distro where they put it, but you always knew right where to go. And I can see one thing about it that, kind of why they might do it, is because those are under the root partition. So, well, they're under root control. You got to have root privileges to write to them and everything. So I did run into headaches with sometimes trying to do things, but So I get what they've given this folder, run media dawn, regular user file permissions. So that does work out really well, because that's generally what you're doing with media. See, that's working away, but copy 113 files. And since I told it to rename, if I had already done this before, then it's going to have another copy, but I don't care. I just want to get it done. As long as it's working and doesn't hang up, I'll be happy. And my phone 3 does not have very much videos on it. Phone 1 probably has less than phone 2. Phone 2 is the one that's going to take the longest, because it's the one I generally grab to take. It's on that mic stand, and I can stand it anywhere I want and have a. Sometimes I call it a tripod. I'm using the mic stand as a tripod because the phones are so light, they can do that. They're lighter than a microphone. So, let's see. Comparison with several different of these Linux file systems. This is the one where they were kind of going to give you some data, I think, but I think I didn't read. I think, yeah, their little chart is not really readable to me. I can't even read it. It's telling about a machine. What happens when you click on that? Does it get bigger or something? Doesn't want to do anything. It doesn't look like. There we go. Oh, openbenchmarking.org. Well, that took me to a website. It didn't get me. I don't think that's not that information. I don't think. Huh. Yeah, that's a lot of stuff. That's kind of cool, but I'm not going to get into that right now. EXT4, yeah, what? See, I don't see anything in there that tells me anything. So, introduction. Oh, I didn't notice that before. Disk benchmark, FS, Linux 4.0 disk benchmark. Let's look at FS, because that should be file system. Okay, there we go. Oh, this is from Phoronix. It's a test suite that I tried to use before, but I kept getting installation errors and stuff, saying you needed newer version, but then I couldn't get it to install. I tried it on Fedora 23, I think. Anyway, it might work in Fedora 28 and 29. Okay, here we go. Now, this is something that can be read. EXT4, what is this? Files? Yeah, okay. 1,000 files of 1 megabyte size. So, I don't know if that's a time or just a score number, but anyway, EXT4, 30, and then BTRFS, 29, XFS, 32, NTFS, 14. I knew, and when you're writing from Linux into NTFS, it used to be so slow I could hardly stand to do it. It's better on this Seagate expansion. It's really good. It's not noticeably slow. It would be something if this hard drive wrote that much faster, though, wouldn't it? This USB hard drive, and then NLFS, I'm not familiar with that. Riser FS is one I've heard of, but I don't really remember. It's the fastest. No, NILFS too. I never heard of that one, so I don't know. Like I said, I want one that that Windows can mount. I may be down. I may be out of luck as far as any of these newer ones. Now, what's this? Okay, so this one says same 1,000 files, 1 megabyte. Oh, that's just they're saying that which one won. Okay, now, okay, 5,000 files. EXT4. Oh, the more you write, the more the results changes. The EXT4 is the fastest. This might be the clue as to why Fedora is using the EXT4. So it's way better speed than anything but this one down here. And then, when FSMark was dealing with multiple threads, EXT4 jumped out as the winner. Okay. And then okay, and then in this one, what was it? 4,000 files, 33 subdirectories. Oh, okay. And see, that's the kind of thing I'm going to be doing, is lots of subdirectories. My backups are going to be like that. Okay, yeah. So the fastest one for that would be NTFS2. I don't even know what that is. I guess I'd have to find out. But I think that this right here is telling me what I need to know real quick, it looks like. Let's see. There's no point in going to some new exotic file system that I don't know much about. I've been using the EXT4 ever since it came out. You know, I'm familiar with the command, you know, the fix commands. I mean, at least I can go. I know I can't remember them, but I know I have them saved and stuff. You know, like when things get broke or all that. I know how the system. I know that Linux, Fedora, and Debian will automatically run not check disk, but fix disk. Pick whatever the exact name of it is, I can't remember, but check disk for Windows, fix disk is for Linux, I think. And anyway, it'll automatically run it and fix, you know, bad sectors and stuff, and fix everything it can every so often automatically during boot. So EXT4 may be the one to go. It's what I kind of figured, but I wanted to make sure. And let's go over and check this again. Yeah, it's just working away, just slowly but surely. But this is over Wi-Fi. But you know, my routers are fast enough, but the phones they generally get between 15 and 65 megabits on the Wi-Fi, so they don't have that fast of chips. Not even 100 megabits. So that may not be done before this video is done. Okay, so it makes me curious as to what this NTFS is. I think I will do one quick search and see. There we go. Slow but dependable Linux file system for running. Ah, how funny. Because that's not, well, it depends on what you're writing to, which way you're writing. If you're writing multiple directories, there's something right there. Telegraph. I'll be darned. It is open source. Now, I'm not going to use it, but that's interesting. NTFS or NTFS2, log structured file system. Nippon Telegraph and Telephone Corporation. Can't believe there's a company still in operation that's called Telegraph and Telephone Company. That must have been around a while. Japanese. Maybe they're still sending telegraphs. Maybe they know something. They've done something with telegraphs we don't know about. Okay, well, that's enough to find out, you know, what I wanted to know about that. Okay, so that's pretty much it. In EXT4, it is quite a bit slower when you're doing 32 subdirectories. I'll be doing a lot more than that. That's why it made me think, wait a minute, what about this NTFS? But, you know, it's not slow to write on, noticeably slow when you're, you know, on your machine, like between, for instance, you know, I'm copying from my EXT4 file systems to an NTFS that's on a USB drive, and it's pretty fast nowadays. Linux did not write. The problem, I read about it years ago when I first got into Linux and Fedora 5 in 2005, oddly enough. And all those first years, it was just terrible to try to write to. Well, you had to install special programs. to get it to even work. It didn't come by default to write to or to mount and write to a NTFS file system from Linux. But it was so slow. It was like this. It was like how slow this is. That's how bad it was. With the drives both, hard drives both in the same machine. Say, for instance, a dual boot system, half of it set up for Windows XP and the other half set up for Fedora 5, 6, 7, 10, whatever. I remember even up into Fedora 11 it was really slow. And what it was is, NTFS is owned by Microsoft, and they wouldn't release the code and the information for people to learn how to better write to it and everything. And so I guess maybe they finally did. I don't know. But it does work better. I only noticed that when I got these a couple of years ago when I got the 5 terabyte Seagate expansion drive. I thought, I don't want that NTFS. And then I decided to try it first, and it worked really well. And then I thought, well, it works well, and I can just plug it into Windows machines and back them up too. And I'd done that some at the time, That's before I reformatted all my Windows drives because I got hit by some malware that got like 4 Windows machines. I had like at least 3 Windows 7 setups, and one of them that was XP, on this old Dell laptop. I think it actually still has XP on it. I think it's still dual boot. I think I saw that the other day. This old Dell 6000, the one that I used to preview my stream with. I think I never did take it off there yet. But anyway, but in the last couple of years, having the NTFS file system break 3 or 4 times, having to fix it, and scared I was lost all my data, wasn't going to get it back. I want something more dependable. And the EXT4, I've never had any problems with it at all until the power going out with my server running caused that EXT4 inside the LVM2 to get broken, and I couldn't fix it. I've been able to always fix them before when they were. I've had them broken. Well, I think it was probably EXT2 or 3. I don't know that I don't think I've ever had an EXT4 broken until now, until this a few months ago. I couldn't fix it. With it being inside the LVM, I think is why, because it didn't matter how many of those fixed disk programs you ran, or FDisk or whatever it's called. It didn't matter. It couldn't get inside the LVM to fix it. And maybe there's a way to do it, and I never found it, but I did do some research. Yeah, BTRFS is, of course, the fixed disk programs are terminal programs, but, well, it's too slow. It writes too slow. That's probably why they got away from it. Yeah, it's faster in that instance, writing a whole bunch more files. Well, it's not faster than EXT4. The only time that anything looks any better is that nil. I'm just going to call it nilfs because it's easy to say it. But not LFS2. The only time it looks better is with multiple subdirectories, more than 32. Well, they're doing 32, they say. So, yeah. I think I'm going to go with EXT4. I don't think I have to research any further. This is Phoronix, that test suite. And it is a really cool. I think if I could have got it working, I would have really liked to. I'd like to still put that on my server, I think, or put it on my regular desktop machine just so I can use it. But it tests more than just hard drives. It tests all kinds of things. But what's this? Compile a program, I guess, really fast. And then disk transaction performance. And see, it really goes back and forth, doesn't it? And look how slow NTFS is compared to anything else. It's just pretty wild there. And of course, I don't see anything in here about the dependability and how often they break. That would be a nice thing to know. XFS jumps out on that. What is that? Random write. Okay. What's this? Random read. Now NTFS is really fast on random read. IO engine. POSIX AIO buffered. Yes. POSIX is some sort of server program. I'm not quite sure what it does, but I do remember. I've heard that name a lot over the years. POSIX. So yeah, let's go with the EXT4. That was very good information. I'm glad I went back, because the first time I looked at this page, I'm going to go to the first page and make sure, yeah, okay. Yeah, I didn't notice there was more than one page, and I thought, what a lousy article. Well, you know, when I first saw this, I didn't notice it drop-down list. Those things are not, they're just not something you see people using much anymore, and they're so easy to overlook, so not my fault. Okay, maybe I wasn't paying them quite enough attention. What's this? Let's see. Okay, Linux kernel officially released with BTR, FS, ARM, and PowerPC changes. So, okay. Well, I'm not going to use it now, so I was really thinking about BTRFS, because I know, but I'm not going to try to set up a software RAID on right now. Maybe one day. If I ever get me a real server, it should have a RAID controller in it, and I guess I'll do that. I've been watching videos from Morton over there in Dutch Deutschland, or I think that's maybe I'll quit saying that, because that might be Germany. He lives in the places with the Alps, in that area there. I can't think of nothing. Anyway, the Netherlands? No, you got to. It's kind of like, you know, I'm sure to Morton. Sorry if you ever saw this video. I'm sure. Me not knowing where your country is and the right name for it. It isn't that I never knew it. It's that my brain quits working all the time, and words come and go from my brain. Because I'm sure, I know you know where Texas is. That's where I live, because you have a friend in Texas you always talk about. But so yeah, I know it's kind of sad that I can't remember all that, but I used to when I was younger. Anyway, not every place all over the world, but this is a common place. And you speak Dutch there, right? So anyway, it's not Switzerland, but it's close. Okay, but he speaks English in his videos, and he does a real good job. When his older videos, it's a little hard to understand him, but now you can tell he has an accent. But I usually can detect accents pretty good. Well, the major ones like Australia, England, you know, Mexico, you know, like that. But I probably would not guess what country he was from. Now, you know, well, I never would have if he hadn't told us, I don't think. Okay, so back to the... Yeah, BTR snapshot. It's got some cool features. It does, but it's just so slow at writing. This is going to be a backup drive, so... Yeah. All right. So, I don't believe I need to do any more research. I think I know what I need to do. Let's check on our write. Uh-oh. Is that thing quit writing? This is what happens when it's trying to write files bigger than, well, that or when the phone goes to sleep. Let's go ahead and get on phone 2. And see, it's not asleep. Well, it's not coming in. There we go. Pretty slow. It could have went to sleep. Pretty slow at coming back. But it's I'm not worried about them running down, because they're plugged into the chargers, and it could even help keep it awake. But this may kill my backup here. Looks like it's just stopped writing altogether, unless that's a really big file that it's writing right now. It's at 13 of 113. So I may have to break down and take these darn SD cards out of the phones in order to back these up and plug them straight into the machine. Of course, I could just do that on my main machine. It's a faster machine than the one I'm trying to use right now. But I figured, heck, I'm using this Fedora 14 system as my server anyway, so it could run as long as it needs to, is what I was thinking. without me. I can, I can go about my rest of my business while it's doing that. But dadgummit. Now, this is the bad thing about using this SSH Droid. I just forgot to check the file. I talked about it and then forgot to check the file sizes. But I don't think the program is asleep. Well, I know the phone's not asleep. I just showed it. There it is. It's streaming the video just fine. So the phone didn't like completely quit working. But SSH Droid quit working. And so I'm not going to stop it right now, because just in case it's not actually stopped working, it's just a big file that's not doing any progress right now. But I'll give it a little longer, because I don't know when it stopped or anything. But dang it, I was hoping to not have to take these phones all apart to do that. I can do the it's much, once you get the SD cards out, get them on the little adapter, and then get them plugged into your computer, it's pretty quick. It's a lot quicker to do your backups, that's for sure. But I was hoping it would work, because I didn't think I had any files that were any bigger than maybe 1 or 2, maybe 2 gigabytes. But maybe that's not what's causing it to lock up. Maybe I'm actually wrong about that. Maybe it's some other thing going on. Maybe you need to leave that, like I said, I left the window for SSH Droid, the window of the program, left it up on phone 3, because I thought, well, what if that lets it go to sleep? Now, I didn't on the other phones. I went ahead and hit the home button and put it in the background. So I don't see why the app would, it may be locking up. Maybe there's a bug in it, because I don't see why the app would put itself to sleep, but the phone's not asleep. I thought the phone was going to sleep all this time, but I never really tried it while I had the IP webcam running, which keeps it awake. IP webcam keeps it awake while it's streaming, because it wouldn't work otherwise, right? It stops the phone from going to sleep. So, okay, well, let's just let that sit there for a while, because what I may have to do is I might end up doing that off of video anyway, all that taking phones apart and all that stuff, taking them out of the I'll have to turn off the video apps and everything, so I probably really won't even want to try to do it on video. It gets to be a real pain when what you're using to video with is what you need to take apart, So let's make sure my stream's still working and everything. I'm looking at just happened to look in here at my backup video, and I see that it's not moving, but the bigger that file gets, the slower it goes to the next number there. So I don't think there's anything wrong there. Okay, so now I want to make sure this is backed up. Now I don't have the 5 terabyte drive. I'm almost certain that, I can go look. The 5 terabyte drive should have a folder for this. Before I accidentally copied some of these extra files to it, I backed up I completely forgot about that. I went through a lot of trouble, and I should be able to show it. I think you can open up, I can use a different file browser. I'm not sure if you can, I guess I could open up another instance of, while you're doing a sync, I don't think you can open up another Krusader instance of Krusader and all that. I guess I could stop this, because it looks like it's absolutely hung. Doesn't say what size the file is that's being copied, does it? 113 of files, and it just says I guess, I actually don't know. Those are sizes, obviously, but I don't know what that's all representing. So-and-so of so-and-so, I guess. 13 of 113, so I guess it's so-and-so bytes or kilobytes. Looks like kilobytes, it's such a long number of so-and-so. Why don't they use megabytes at least, or gigabytes? It should automatically show you if it's smaller than a megabyte, it should show kilobytes or whatever, and then megabytes. If it's under a gig, then it should show megabytes, and if it's over a gig, it should show gigabytes. probably would be a lot of programming, wouldn't it? All right, so well, I'm going to go ahead and let it keep trying for a minute, but and I won't open up another Krusader. I'll go ahead and go into the File Manager. Let's see, the onboard File Manager. There's the backup drive. That's what I wanted to look around in. So, okay, so there it is. Backups, 8 terabyte. Has its own folder. Huh. Why aren't I seeing all the other backup folders in here? I should be seeing a whole bunch of other backups folders. But this is the backups I did. I used Clonezilla and made images of them. There's a system partition, a Windows system partition, and then there's I kept hearing noises, and I thought it was my computer's doing something weird. It's a trash truck's outside. Yeah, this is Wednesday. It's some kind of truck, probably a delivery truck. We got a lot of delivery trucks lately. Anyway, I did backup images. And I think that one of them, the one of the whole main partition, it didn't actually work. And I just now remembered that I thought, you know what, it might have worked if I used an older version of Clonezilla because I used Parted Magic, which had it on there, but it's from like 2013 or something. And Parted Magic is one of my favorite system restoration Linux distros, but it's quit being open source, and you can't get a newer version anymore without, paying, I don't know, I forgot how much it is, but anyway, I don't need it that bad. So Clonezilla, though, is open source, and that's the thing, is all the apps that were on there were open source, so if you want to use them, you can just go and use that app. But I started to download the newest Clonezilla. They used to have a Clonezilla Live, and I think they still do, ISO, and I didn't do it. So what I don't understand is, why am I on this drive? I normally don't use this, default, whatever, backup, KJ. I usually don't use it, but I'm not seeing, I should be seeing a whole lot more folders in there, and I don't know why I'm not. Maybe it's the file manager I'm using. Better be, because if something got broke, that would be really, really bad. Now I'm getting a little concerned. Let's see. Oh, I think I know what my problem is. I was on my Lenovo i5, and that was the 8 terabyte backup drive. That's the danger of having drives with the same name. See, Seagate expansion drive. That's it. But that's where, why do I have backups on here of this drive? I must have copied them. Oh, that's what happened when I accidentally started backing the thing up. See, I've got interrupted backups of I originally backed it up to my local system. So, yeah. Let's see. So if I go to my home directory, that's the folder, and that's why it got backed up. Yeah, main partition files. Here's what I was looking for. Okay, so I have them on my system here. I just copied them over into that folder, and then I made my Clonezilla images right here. I also have a bunch of screenshots of what I was doing. But there's, that's the one. SDB2 failed. And this one had both. It had SDB1 and 2, and it actually showed that it failed. So, but I didn't delete it yet because in case, I think it said it may not work or something. I ran a check, and then I did a Clonezilla backup of SDB1, which is the Windows. That's the one you need an image of because it's the Windows. I can just make whatever kind of, I can make an NTFS file system and copy these files here over to it, and I should be good. But the other one, the hidden system one, I wanted an image of it, and in the errors I saw, it was talking about it didn't quite support everything to do with NTFS file systems yet, and I thought, well, yeah, if I'd got a newer version of Clonezilla, maybe it would. But so I could try it again, but I don't think I need it. I can't think of any reason why I would need to do it again. That is definitely pretty darn sure it's hung up. So I think I'm going to call it. I'm going to say it's hung up and it's not going to work. So let's just go to the home directory, both sides. And now I can go to the, well, I could have stayed where I was, but yeah, 4.5 terabyte hard drive. It should have, now here's all these folders. I was getting worried. I was like, where are all my backup folders? I was on the 8 terabyte drive. Now see, that's why they can't stay the same name and keep using 2 USB drives. Well, if I were gonna use 2 USB drives, I would have to rename one of them. That would just really cause some real trouble. But did I end up ever copying it? I might not have copied it to the root directory here. There it is. Yes, I did. 8 terabyte. So I went ahead. I think I manually copied this over. But yeah, because my lucky backup setup back on my main machine is set up to pick specific directories and put them in the right places. I wanted all my documents, downloads, and all that to go. Normally, you know, you could just do what I used to do is just do, whoops, hit that. I thought it wasn't going to work and I hit it again. What I used to do is just say home Don over to the backup drive or to a folder on the backup drive. But I wanted to back up from multiple machines to the same folders, downloads, you know, documents, so-and-so, so-and-so. So I ended up kind of customizing my backup profiles so that everything goes where I really want it to end up. And it made it more complicated, though. So I ran a backup, just let backup run automatically, expecting this folder right here to get backed up, but it didn't. It's a good thing I checked because it didn't get backed up, because it was, go to the home directory, it was right here, and that's not one of those, that hadn't been, it needed a custom. I didn't do just home Don everything. I did custom ones to the right places, and so this one had no profile, so it didn't get backed up, and I don't think it has one still. I might have made one. I kind of don't think so, because it was just really a one-time backup. So yeah, I need to. Okay, so now here I was in the 7.3 terabyte Seagate expansion drive. Now I think I'll copy that name. Can I get it to select it? Ah, okay. I don't want the whole thing. I just want Seagate expansion drive. That was weird how that did that. But now in Krusader, you can't right-click. You can hit Control-C for copy and you'll get it. But if you hit right-click and copy, oh, it worked that time. Usually when you're highlighted everything, oh, maybe it works now. It didn't. For you, all these years, if you right-click to try to copy or paste or any copy, you could paste, but you couldn't. If you tried to copy, it would just deselected everything. It wouldn't work. So anyway, I should have that in my. Well, yeah, okay, that's weird how it did that though. It makes it change the display now. That's some new thing I hadn't realized. Anyway, I want that name because I'm going to format it. I need to get off of it. I'll just do that for now. And I don't know. Downloaded. I knew that was going to do that. Okay, now. Wow, it sure does seem to be taking a long time to get larger there. I hope my backup video didn't quit working. Shouldn't have. Let's see if we go out of that folder and back in. Still not. Let me look at my program, and at least my stream's still good. Yeah, I'm recording. I think it's just taking a good while to go to the next number. I think it's fine. Krusader is one of the few file managers that will show your files growing in real time without giving any problems or anything. But if you're watching a video grow, at first you can just sit there and watch it. But then as it gets over a gigabyte, close to, like right now it's close to 2 gigabytes, it takes a good while to go up to the next number for some reason. So I guess that's 1.9 gigabyte to 2 gigabyte is more than from 70 megabytes to 75 megabytes, and so on. So it's a little more data. So I guess that's fine. So let's see. All right, now my 5 terabyte drive is over there. Let's go to home. I'm just going to go somewhere else besides those drives, my backup drives. I don't want to be able to hurt them in any way. Now, of course, the other reason why it was probably because it really did seem painfully slow, that copying over the Wi-Fi. I'm also using, well, this is not Wi-Fi, this is wired, but I'm also using remote desktop here. And actually, I think I'll disconnect because give me one less thing to click on and go get mixed up about. And I'm not using it right now. I'm going to give up on the Wi-Fi backup up the phones right now and just get to what I'm really trying to do here. Let's make sure. Yeah, let's go ahead and open GParted. Well, let's go open the disk utility. I'm getting really hungry for some reason. I've already had my lunch. So I'm going to try to get this done, and then I'm going to have to break and eat some food. Disks. This is, I think, called, yeah, this is Genome Disk is what this app is called, I believe. So that's my 250 gigabyte hard drive. See, it's divided up with a boot partition that's EXT4 there. And then it's got LVM partition 2. It just says LVM2 PV. And let's see, somewhere else in some other drive. Oh yeah, I think it's over here. See, in this view right here of the whole entire drive, you don't see this separate home and root partition. It's just dev SDA2. That's kind of the physical view of it, I guess. And then that's the hard, DVD, CD. And then that's my backup drive. See, it has, now this is an example of what I was talking about. This is what I was talking about. That's the hidden partition that makes it boot up right and everything. Well, not boot up, but mount right and everything as an NTFS drive. Microsoft reserved SDB1. SDB2 is where your data goes into NTFS. And that Microsoft reserved, somewhere I saw what it is. It's like XFS or something. No, it's some other thing I never even heard of. I didn't know they were using that. So this is the 8 terabyte drive, though. And this is what I'm getting ready to reformat. Now, you could do it right here with this, but this is not dependable. Every time I use this, I usually use it for FAT32 for my USB sticks and SD cards, and I end up having problems and not working right. So I'm not going to use this one. But I just was going to go over everything. It's a good graphic view of everything. And then 54 gigabyte Fedora Lenovo i5 root right there too is EXT4 inside of that LVM2. And then 4.1 gigabyte, that's the swap. That's kind of helps the RAM and everything else. The files are, it's a temp directory. Swap is a temp directory, basically a temp partition for temp files. And most Linux distros use a swap file system on it. It helps it work faster, and it might be more dependable too. You can actually write to the drive, and then, well, if you had a power loss, that may be one of the reasons why you don't lose things if you have a power loss. Because of that swap drive, because things are actually being written to it. A lot of the temp files. I don't know exactly what's what, but anyway, the home directory is 191 gigabytes there and it's inside the LVM2. That's what I was going on about earlier. And so I'm going to close this app and make sure I'm not making any big mistakes. But so now we're going to get GParted, because this is the one that I find most dependable for partitioning, and also I really like the user interface. Now for a brand new drive, it's fine, you know, with the warranty, if you didn't know this already. I'm sure, because they always tell you in every place you go to buy a drive online or whatever, you know, like people are always asking, does it support Macs? Yes, but you have to reformat it. So that's not going to void your warranty or anything. From everything I know, I mean, you can't. I don't work for those companies that sell drives. I don't work for Seagate, so. But from what I understand, that won't hurt the warranty. And even if it did, that's why, you know, if I make with my backups, I could restore it back to factory condition anyway. So, and if I decide I don't like the EXT4, then I can restore it back to NTFS if I wanted to. So dev SDA, that's my hard drive that my system's on. Definitely see LVM2 PV. Don't want to do any work on that. You would destroy your whole operating system. Now here's that Microsoft Reserve partition, and let's see what it can tell me. It's only 128 megabytes. Let's look in the information. It says all the information that it has on it. Unable to detect the file system. Possible reasons are. Now I think maybe somewhere I saw what the file system is in some application I have in my previous videos on this drive, but I'm not going to go into that now because I'm fixing to just delete this. Okay, now you can't just it was mounted. Oh yeah, we need to unmount it. Well, let's do it inside of GParted. That'd be the best way to do that. Now let's look at the information on here. NTFS 7.20. That's where I get that 7.28 terabytes of. That's how much data I have to actually use. That's why I always say 23 or whatever. I got all in my head confused. It says 7.3, I think it was, when you see it in Krusader, but in here it's 7.28. So I kind of transformed all that in my little tiny peanut brain. Got it all wrong, but anyway, this is the actual amount of data that you can write to it, 7.28 terabytes. So, okay, now it's mounted, so we need to unmount it, but inside of GParted, you'll still see it. It won't go out of there. So, but you don't want to ever do any partitioning work or anything on a mounted drive. Okay, and sometimes you have to, if it's active, also like for LVMs and sometimes they won't be mounted, but they'll be activated. So you need, if you're going to do any formatting on one of them, you need to make sure they're not activated. Okay. Now see, now you can say format to, but I've got more than one partition, so I'm going to delete the partitions first. Let's see, is this one, it's not mounted, doesn't say unactivate, deactivate, or anything in there, so we should be good with that. Let's see, there's delete, delete. Of course, you could leave that one on there, but since it would be of no use whatsoever that I know of. Yeah, because Linux, unless that would help it to work. No, that wouldn't make any difference. Because I've mounted EXT, 2s and 3s in Windows, and they work as long as you're using that program. You don't need any hidden Microsoft partitions. So we're going to delete that one, delete that one. Yeah, make sure I'm on this huge drive, my backup drive. Okay. Now it doesn't happen. See, it's going to delete down at the bottom. It's going to delete all that. Doesn't happen until you click the check mark. Are you sure you want to do that? Because you're fixing to delete data. Yes, in this case, I do want to do that. Okay, now you can get, well, it's already done. I was going to say you can get the details and watch them happen, but you can do it after the fact too. Okay, so this is what it's doing, and I'm not going to go into, I don't pretend to understand every little thing about all this anyway, so I'm not going to go into all of it. I'm in a hurry because I'm starving. Stomach hurts. I'm getting so hungry. I guess I should grab something, shouldn't I? I have snacks here. Let me grab a little chocolate thingy. Yeah, I'm diabetic, so I can crash and burn really fast if I keep pushing it, so I get sick. So that's why I have these little Hershey's Nuggets right here. That way I don't get too much sugar, but I get just enough to keep me from getting sick. They're just like really one bite. Now I'm smacking. Get a drink and I'll be done. I decided I wanted screenshots of that, so I wouldn't have to just go back to the video to see any record of what I've done. Okay. Close that. Now it's done. It's unallocated. Now I'm going to right click and go to new. See what the information is right first. So 7.28 terabyte, unallocated. And that data that was on there is gone now, but none of it was anything I needed. It was accidental backup, like I said before. So we're going to say new. And sometimes, well, that 1 megabyte of space at the beginning, you should leave that, even though I forget the reasons why, but and actually they default to EXT4, so that's what I'm going to leave it as. Primary partition, I'm going to leave it as a primary. 0 free space at the end. And there's the what? Megabytes. Okay, that's how many megabytes it is. That's a lot of megabytes, isn't it? Megabytes, M-I-B. How come they call it M-I-B when megabyte is spelled M-E-G? Never have quite understand that. I found out that that's the proper way to abbreviate megabyte, M-I-B. It's not Men in Black, it's megabyte. Partition name. I don't know what to do besides give it that same. I don't know if it'll let that work or not. Seagate expansion drive with spaces. Actually, partition names I don't think can have. I should have paid attention to the labels before I got rid of that and made them exactly the same. I think the label and partition name. Oh, well, the partition names were different. Oh, the label you can't change. You can't make that long. Okay. So I'm going to call it 8 terabyte. Oh, wait a minute. How many terabytes is it? 7.28 terabyte. Yeah, I'm going to do what it really is. 7. That won't work. 7. I don't think I can put a dot in there. You can't put all kinds of characters in that label. Okay, I'll just call it 8 terabyte. And I think you can put a dash. No, you know, you might have to do underscore. I think I'll do underscore. I think you need to do underscore. I think. Yeah, you gotta. It'll let you. It won't let you put more than you can put in there. 8 terabyte USB drive. I really don't like. It's always misleading to me when the size is wrong when in the name that I give it. But since it's 7.28, and I don't want to just experiment, you know, and put 7.28 and have the dot not work. So, but Seagate expansion drive, hopefully that will make it show up to the system just like it has before. I think it will. I copied and pasted it in there from, you know, Krusader, so I don't make sure I don't have any extra spaces or anything. And then the label for the partition, you might be able to have dashes in there, and I usually prefer that, but On a drive, it's kind of easier to read it like that. It looks like a space. Well, when it looks like a space but it's not, it can throw you off, though. That's the one reason why I don't use underscores. And I kind of think you can use dashes. I forget everything. I've been doing it for all these years. But it might tell me. Sometimes it tells you, and sometimes it just puts no name in there whatsoever. Sometimes it will default to one. If you don't put anything in there, it'll put one of its own in there, whatever it gets from the drive. But sometimes it, well, actually, generally when I'm doing this, I'm doing it because I'm making a boot ISO, and the information from your boot ISO puts whatever in the right places. So I usually don't do this manually. I think the dashes, I think that's going to work better, because I always have a problem of thinking that I see it and I don't see the underscore, and I think it's a space. So then if I'm trying to type it somewhere, I get it wrong. So I'm going to do it like that and see if it works. Okay, I didn't get any errors, so I think that's going to work. Now you got to click on the check mark to get it to do it. Libparted error as super user. Partition 1 on it have been written, but have been unable to inform the kernel of the change, probably because they are in use. As a result, the old partitions will remain in use if you should reboot now before making further changes. I've seen this before. I think it's not going to hurt what happens. It scared the heck out of me the first time I ever saw it, because it makes you think, oh no, I've reformatted my hard drive on my system. But I don't want to, I'm going to hit ignore, because if I hit cancel, I think it might cancel my work that I'm trying to do. I've seen this several times and I don't remember exactly what. I've tried different things. Okay, you can't hit ignore, you have to hit cancel, I guess. It keeps coming back. Just says we got an error. Now let's see. Create primary partition. Oh, it's okay. The partition worked, just got a check mark there. Let's get this bigger where I can see all of it. Boy, that's a long message. It's so long it will not show up. They have been written but have been able to inform the kernel. Okay, they have been written. I don't know if this is just some sort of bug or what. I believe it's going to be fine. I just need to unplug the hard drive and plug it back in, reset the drive as they call it, and it'll be fine. But you couldn't just go and use this drive and mount it and use it. Like, you could right click and mount it, but you wouldn't want to do that. There's a flag on it. I'm going to see what that is. Unable to detect the file system. Possible reasons are damage, so-and-so, 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 so-and-so. Okay, now that scared me before, but like I said, I'm going to close the program, and I can go up here to my main hard drive. Everything's still good there. And I'm going to close GParted. Now, see, it's not mounted. There's nothing there. Unplug it. Let's see. Actually, it's plugged into the back of the machine, so I'm going to power it down by unplugging it and then plug it back in. So, yeah, I started to switch cameras, but let's see. I'm afraid, I'm nervous about me forgetting to go back, but yeah, I'll go ahead and try to show what I can of this. It's not like you can really see, but my power's underneath here. Okay, I plugged it back in. Now let me hurry up and get on the desktop, so maybe we'll see it mount up. If it mounts up properly, it should. Sometimes they take a little bit, unless I'm going to have to actually reboot this machine to get it to show up in it. It might have been better if I unplugged the USB and plugged it back in. Oh, I could unplug it from the the drive itself. That should do the same thing, I think. So it hasn't mounted again. Before we go and do anything else, let's look in GParted again. I don't remember exactly what I had to do to get it, but I do remember that I've seen this before several times recently, and the drive still gets formatted. Okay, well, it said it got formatted. It said it couldn't, for some reason it can't inform the kernel of what's happened. And so I guess the system can't mount it. Yeah, it's still just like it was. You don't need to tell, it's not a boot partition or anything like that, manage flags. So I don't think you need any kind of flag. I don't think you don't want it hidden. There's not a flag for, backup drive or anything like that. This is all system flags. So. And the information still says the exact same thing. So let's close GParted again. And I'm going to unplug the I'm going to go over here and unplug it from the drive itself, the USB cable, instead of trying to get around to the back of the machine. I think that should work. Well, maybe not. If I have to reboot the machine, then I can't show it in this video. Well, I guess it actually could be possible, because no, I don't think the machine could reboot fast enough. What can happen is I would lose my video. What I do is I stop my stream and my video in OBS Studio, reboot, and YouTube will still keep looking for my stream for about a whole minute. But I think it might take longer than a minute for the system to reboot. Did I reboot? I did that. I did something. Oh no, I didn't reboot the machine. I just closed OBS and opened it back up again because it was acting up. Oh yeah, I had changed some settings. I was trying to get rid of the lag in the video, and I was changing settings. And I just closed OBS and opened it back up. That actually did work. And I just noticed my preview's not actually working. The playing of my preview over there. So it's not going to mount without, just like it said, you're going to have to reboot your system. So I guess you're going to have to listen to what they say there. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, yeah. I'm trying to think of how do I do it. Oh, there's actually somebody on there trying to say hello to me. I don't know when they did it. Half the time, if I ever do, hardly ever anybody ever does try to chat, Hey, sorry, I don't know if you're still around, but I didn't notice that till just this minute. Could have been forever. Let's see what they said. It just says, hey man. Hey man. He used to be a guy I worked with, everybody. His nickname was Hey Man, because he always said that all the time. Back in the, actually this was in the 80s. But, so sorry I missed you. Usually by the time I notice somebody saying hello, it's been so long they took off, But, so anyway, thanks for watching. hopefully my rambling is not too bad today. Sometimes I actually do pretty good. Not today. I've been going in circles. But, okay, so that's not going to mount. And so I think, let me get it straight in my head what I'm going to have to do here. If it was going to mount, it would have mounted by now, that drive. See, I can leave it plugged in. I don't have my other drive plugged in, so I can leave it plugged in. Actually, it would be okay to do that because now I think what I'm going to end up doing is making this my main backup drive. And I think I'm going to probably I'm pretty sure I'm going to take that 5 terabyte drive out of its case and put it into a machine. Probably end up being this one. But of course, before I can do anything like that, I have to back up this machine for sure. So I can reformat, you know. But I might, one of my other plans is that I might want to go ahead and back up the whole red black BioStar because it's my old backup drives and everything. And actually, you'd want to do the oldest files first. I mean, otherwise you're just doing it. You're going to have to do it again and again. But do the oldest files first, and then do the newer files second. You know, it'd be the best thing. But right now, I just want to make sure that my formatting works. So I just don't. If this machine has got a couple of boot errors, it makes it take a long time to finish rebooting. Otherwise, I think that I might actually be able to reboot before my stream shut down. But I can try it. But there is another way to do it. That's something I hadn't thought about. Will that work? I can turn on my machine I've been building for my mom and turn it on as the backup stream. I have OBS. I've done it before. Turn it on as the backup stream. And let it take over until all the rebooting gets done. Maybe I should do that. Kind of hate to interrupt all this. Let's see. Yeah, the Fedora 14 can just be left doing, you know, I'm going to have to manually take my SD cards out of that phones and back them up. I'm not going to do that in this video. But I would like to make sure that this drive is going to be okay. So I just leave it plugged in. It should be on and running. Let me get up there. Let me get off of the SM58 and get onto the Let's see. Okay, now we should be on the wireless mic. Now I can move around and get up here and make sure the blue light's on this thing. Oh, only thing is, can't move around too good because I have to pick this up and carry it. This is not in my little bag like I usually have it.
Make sure the blue light's on.
Yep, blue light's on.
Oh.
There we go. Hope I didn't lose make sure I didn't lose my sound. Yeah, normally I wear this in a bag, but it's not. I think it'd be more risky to try to put it in that bag than to just kind of hold it. So. Okay, so now what I'll do, I guess, is go to camera 2, and you can kind of see what I've got going here. I don't have it zoomed in, but on the monitor like I usually do, but I'm gonna get this other machine up and running. I actually got it. I got a piece of paper. I've got too many sticky notes up there in front of my KVM switch. Which one is the one that starts it? There we go. That was nice. You probably heard that giant burp. Okay, I thought I was on it. I am, but I'm still seeing I think I'm seeing the Fedora 14 system. Yep. I turned it on automatic, hoping that the monitor on automatic sense, hoping that it would automatically switch between the DVI input and the VGA because the Fedora 14's actually got a DVI video card. but it only works, it'll switch to the DVI, but it won't switch back to the VGA automatically, so I need to turn that off. That's a pain when it does that right there. So this system, I can stream with it. There's actually problems streaming with it. It streams fine, but it's an 8-core with 8 gig of RAM. I just got, I had it all, I built it up and then put Fedora 27, and then I had a malware scare, and so I'm going to reformat it, and I haven't got back to that machine yet. But and I put OBS Studio on the meantime. I found it's clean, but I just want to. Well, Fedora 29's out now, so I'm going to probably put Fedora 29 on it. But I could have zoomed in my little camera like I usually do the monitor, but you can't really read it anyway, so I figured, well. So anyway, oops, what did it do? Case Sysguard crashed. Wonder why Case Sysguard crashed. It said restart, so I'll go ahead and try to restart it. Case Sysguard. Oh, that was the, that's what, system monitor is actually called Case Sysguard. That's what opened up. I didn't open it. It opened up on its own, so. I wonder if I forgot to shut it down last time and left it running or something. So I have OBS on here, and it should seamlessly, the only thing it does is once you start streaming, the window will stop working right, like you're running out of memory, but it's streaming fine, the machine's fine, it's just OBS Studio. And I did some looking up, and evidently OBS has some problems with working well on AMD processors. Now on profiles, there's no profiles, there's nothing in the scene there. What's going on here? I thought I had imported my profiles. Well, I don't see any of them. They seem to be, they're all the profiles I had imported that I was using in here. Oh, I did that in my screen name. Dirt. I made a screen name for me so I could do stuff like that. Now, where's the little button for getting? Oh yeah, this is the shutdown or reboot. I gotta, if I just want to log out and go to a different name, I gotta go to log out of Theta. Switch user. I'm going to log out. I don't want both users running. There's no sense in that. There. I'm not sure what the password is for me, but that wasn't it. If that ain't it, I'll have to go look it up. I think maybe that was it. Okay, now, and I left that Case Sysguard running by accident. So that's probably what I did. I shut it down like that. I like to have it running so I can see what's going on with the system. And also if some app gets unruly, I can force close it. Now I've got an icon for OBS Studio. Now here's everything. And my cameras are all there. I can switch to whichever, whatever I need. I just can't do I can't do well, I could do remote desktop, but I can't, I just thought, well, I can use the cameras, is what I was thinking. So, actually I can go into, well, let's don't do that right now. Okay, so I'm going to turn this on as the backup server. The profile, yeah, it's already on the backup stream. So all I have to do is start streaming. It'll start streaming and recording. And now, whenever I stop my stream on my machine, this one will take over and the stream will not be interrupted. And then I can reboot. Okay, so, but I think I'll zoom in on the monitor now before I do that, so that you can have some idea what's going on instead of the back of my head. And the back of my head's really not that pretty. Let's see. started to do it a minute ago and then I didn't do it. So I should have, I guess. Of course, right now I can show the desktop. There we go. Now, Cam 2, browser, 100%. I already have it set to where all I should have to do is just zoom in. That was pretty close. Oops, too far. You can either use the mouse or you can use the left and right arrow keys. There we go. So now you get some idea of what's going on camera 2. And I think I left the other one on camera 2. So, well, this one can be on desktop. The other one is on camera 2, I believe. If it's not, I'll have to switch it. Oh, now my stream's getting yellow. So, but, okay, now I'm going to go ahead and see, how do I do this? Well, I'm going to stop the stream, and let me look at the other machine first. I'll do camera 2 here too. I want to make sure I left that one on camera 2. I don't remember now what I did. I shouldn't have put that up there. I stuck a new paper up there, and it's not laying flat at all. Sometime I'm gonna have to break down and do something with all those sticky notes. Are just too many. Okay, yeah, we're on camera 2. We have audio. Oh yeah, I can't use the SM58. I have to use the Wi-Fi mic or you have no sound. Don't forget that. All right, but I am using that, so it's all good there. Okay, yeah, we're on camera 2. And sound levels might be a little different because they may be set a little different over here on my machine. Just now thought of that, but we should have good sound, good enough sound. Okay, so I'll leave it both like that. Close the browser, get ready to reboot. But I'll go ahead and stop this stream, and that actually should make the other one take over. Okay, so stopping. And we should still be live over there. All right, and I'm not going to waste any time. I'm just going to go ahead and reboot. And I'm listening to myself over there to make sure it's still working. Oh, great, the preview quit playing. Well, it may be in the middle of trying to pick up the other machine. But I'm rebooting right now, if you're still hearing me. And yeah, it looks like the stream's okay. Yeah, I might have lost just a bit. You know, there might be a little jump cut or something in there. I don't know. Usually there's not. Yeah, I think the sound could possibly be a little lower. That'd be about it. Yeah, it was working. I hear myself. What was going? Me wondering about if it was going to work right. Okay, so I hit the arrow key, the up arrow key. It doesn't matter, but I hit the up arrow key to make the terminal. Now this is where it hangs up. I'm always talking about it. I really got to do something about this. But it hangs up. Actually, it says it's running the job for Dev Mapper, Fedora, Nova 5 root, and all the different partitions. It's like, it seems like an error saying it can't mount the partitions, and then it seems like it finally gives up. I guess it finally works. I don't know, because it has. I don't think it's the actual mounting of the partitions. I mean, if it was, the system wouldn't run. It seems to me that it gives up, and it shows an error, and it says some dependency missing, but it goes by too fast for me to ever read it. I've tried 100 times. But I need to get I think even if I get one of these phones right up really close, you still may not be able to read it, but I ought to try that. Because if you're not zoomed in, zooming in it gets blurry, but if you bring the phone up really close, then big enough text you can read it. That's really small text. And as you can see, that's just a blur of white and black and with some green. That's what it looks like to me in my preview over there. So I know you can't, nobody can read that on the video, but at least you get a general idea of what's going on. But yeah, that's kind of cool. And hopefully, when it's booted back up, the 8 terabyte, quote 8 terabyte, 7.28 terabyte drive will be mounted and all ready to write to it and ready to be my Linux backup drive. Well, like I said, I'm pretty sure I can use the EXT2FS program. I guess I should open that up here and look at it. I don't have to worry about it right now. I don't have a Windows system that I need to at all to back up. But I should be able to use that to, I don't think I can have automatic backups that way with it, because I think you have to start that program. You might have it, I don't know, I can't remember if you can have it like running all the time in the background and ready to work, but if you can, then I might be able to do that. But I still have that SSH program running in the background on here. I'll make sure it's not running the battery down. No, it's at 98% because I had it. One I'm using for my camera 3 for my lapel mic. Oops, forgetting the password. Too many different machines. Okay. So it's not that bad, but boy, it used to boot really fast. So I installed a whole bunch of stuff on my group install script that I thought I'd like to try out, and a bunch that I knew I wanted. And then I saw some more stuff that I thought was interesting, and I added it to the script, uncommented it, and let it work. And then I started getting errors on boot, and I haven't even tried to fix it or anything. I'm too busy working on everything else. Okay, it's up. Oh, we still do not see that drive, though. Well, that doesn't mean that it won't work. It just means let's go back over here. If I'm going to have to reboot again, I'm not going to switch, you know, to the stream over to this machine yet, in case I have to reboot again or something. But usually right after you boot up, the Seagate drive will be mounted up. Let's go ahead and go into Krusader and see if I can see it and be able to mount it. Or maybe I should go into, let's see if it shows up. It's not showing up at all. So if file managers can't see it, then it's probably not mounted. So let me go ahead and open up GParted again. Well, let's do the disk management app. Well, let's go GParted first and see if it. I should have unplugged it and not rebooted the machine with it plugged in. I should have probably unplugged it, shut the machine down. You know, shut the machine down, unplugged it, reboot. You know, boot the machine back up, and then plug it in. That might have been what I should have done. Okay. I have my root partition, root password to get GParted running. Okay, let's see. Okay. Oh, yeah, okay, you can still see it, but it's still just showing that error. Manage flags, the error. It's saying it could be damaged, but the error said that it worked. It just didn't. I forgot what it said. Oh, it said reboot. That's what it said. Now let's look at the disk program. So it's the same error that I saw a while ago. That's what it is. Before I rebooted. So I haven't made any progress yet. 8 terabyte hard disk. So that's the information that's coming from the disk itself. Seagate expansion drive is this name just like it was before. Did that on purpose. And the partition name is not showing up any different than partition options, format, edit partition, resize, create partition image, restore partition image. That's a cool thing you can do with this application. Is you can create an image of a partition or restore it with this application. Oh, I forgot about that. And actually, I've done that before, and that's dependable. I could have done that instead of using Clonezilla. Benchmark it. That's in this, I think it's called Genome Disks. It's the app that I always, it used to always come natively with Fedora, but now you have to go find it and install it. One of the reasons why I've used my install scripts because I can't remember the names of this stuff, and it takes forever to do them one at a time anyway. But it doesn't show to be, let's see, contents unknown. Of course, it's empty. It says Linux file system. That's all it says. It doesn't say EXT4 in there anywhere. So, you know what? I just remembered something. When I deleted those partitions, it might have been that this is a hard drive. It's a USB, but it's a hard drive inside of a case. So, with hard drives, when you delete things or make partitions, you need to reset the drive, you know, reboot the drive. And so, which I did do, but what I didn't do is reset it before I made the new partition. I just remembered that. That might have been where I might have actually messed up. So I might need to try reformatting it again. I would like it much better if I didn't see any kind of error. But I think what I'll do is shut this machine down. Instead of shutting the machine down, let's turn the drive off again. Unplug it and plug it back in one more time. It may be that I actually just need to unplug it from the machine. Let's do that this time. And if I'm going to be moving around a lot, I think I better go ahead and put my little phone 3 in my phone bag and wear it where I can move around safely without messing things up here. I don't know if you're hearing my playback, but I'll stop it. I had the playback going to make sure I knew if my sound quit or not. Might have been picking it up here on the mic, though. Okay, now am I still? My playback. Yeah, okay. So what I can do is reach back here. And of course, you can't see all this, but I'm trying to expedite this situation a little bit. Okay, I'm going to unplug it from the, find it first, find out which one it is. There it is. Aha. Okay, let's unplug it. I'll just put it in a different port. There we go. See if it mounts up that time. If that don't make it mount up, then I'm gonna have to, okay, it shut down and it's turning, I see it blinking as it turns back on. Now, see if it'll mount. If it doesn't, then I think I'll reformat it again and try to make sure I get all the little steps. When you do, I mostly do USB drives and SD cards, and they're not so particular about, really the only time you may have to reset them is after you're done. But with hard drives, if I remember right, you actually need to reset it after you delete the partitions, then reset it again after you make the new partitions, and I forgot all that. Okay, because it didn't help, and now again, it might have helped to. I was trying to talk on the SM58. It might have helped to shut the machine down, basically unplug it, shut the machine down, turn it off, or unplug it. Usually, it suffices just to unplug it from the power and then plug it back in. that's resetting the drive, you know. And then root the machine back up. Might have been just fine. But I'm trying to think now. Of course, I'm still on the backup stream, but I can't do my desktop video and show what I'm really doing. So and I'd like to do that, but it takes a lot of work. So you know what? I've showed it a good view of it. I can see my preview's not terribly bad, so I'm going to use the camera to expedite things because I really need to hurry up because I need a break. Okay, GParted. I can't go too fast when you're doing stuff like this, or you'll end up messing something up really bad. So take my time here. Yeah, if GParted doesn't know, I mean, it said it was successful, but you just needed to reboot the machine, but that didn't help. Well, I could go ahead and try rebooting the machine. I was fixing to just reformat it again, but let's try the actual, like I said, let's do that, because I can do it without interrupting my stream. What I'm going to do is shut the machine down, unplug that drive from the power source, and plug it back in to reboot it. Actually, I'll unplug it until I get the machine rebooted. And then this monitor, I'm tired of it constantly. See if I can see the spot where you set it to. I guess it's not gonna, I don't see it. Input setting, there we go. Auto search is on, but that's not helping here. And I've got to get the right buttons though. Oops, what did I do? I probably shouldn't have tried to do this. I'm not doing the right thing to get it to go to turn auto search off. Now I guess you can't see nothing but my head anyway, but we couldn't read it anyway. Yeah, now I'm sidetracking. There. Off. Auto search off. Okay. Now maybe it will quit automatically switching to the Fedora 14 system. It's the one with the V. It's really confusing. It's really aggravating. Okay, the machine is shut down. Right? Yeah. Machine is shut down. Now I'm going to unplug the... Yeah, see, when the machine's shut down, that drive is... it turns off automatically. They do that. So, but I'm going to go ahead and unplug the power so that it won't be on, you know, whenever I turn on my machine. And now I'll turn on the machine. I think I'm going to unplug this camera. I'm not using that USB camera anymore right now. I don't think I'm going to in this video. That'll be a little less work on the machine anyway. Surely that didn't confuse things. What if it did? If it did, well, it's not there to confuse things. It wouldn't confuse things with the drive. I'm pretty sure about that. Anyway, we're going to see if, from what I read in that error message, this drive should be okay, but maybe it's not okay. And from what I kind of remember, So now we're booting back up, and I do have a delay. I see text on the screen, and I saw black. Well, I still see me moving around, so my camera. Oh, that other machine. Oh, that other machine is not set. I set it to always play VLC streams on this to get rid of that really bad lag. That other one's still set up the old way, so it's got, whenever you're on the camera, it starts. When you're off, it stops, and that evidently causes real problems with audio-video sync. So, sorry, I didn't think about that. Although it looks like you're caught up now, from what I can tell. That's good. Maybe it's not as far behind as I thought it might be. Yeah, they're just hanging up, waiting, trying to start job running for Dev Mapper, Fedora. And it keeps switching between different partitions, root, swap, devices. And it says 1 minute, 16 seconds. Then it says / no limit, 1 minute, 30 seconds. I don't know what all that is. Countdown time as to how long it's going to wait, evidently. But I'm sure of that, but I don't know. There we go. Now the dependency, I saw the word dependency, but I see a little yellow error message saying, I'm telling you something about, and there was a bunch of commands in the boot logs that it told me to run to try to fix that and another boot error that I had. And I ran all of them. They said they were successful, but it didn't fix it. So I'm actually thinking I may just, since Fedora 29's out now anyway, I may just reformat the thing and start again. I'll probably try. I want to see what that boot error is, and if it looks hard to fix, I'll just reformat it. It's sometimes way easier to do that than it is to fix a bunch of oddball errors and stuff. Especially now, if I had to start from scratch with all my applications one at a time, yeah, that would take forever. But since I have built my install scripts, I can use those. Thing is, I've been building new ones using the group list commands and the group list vhidden and stuff. And then I just look through. What I do is I save all the terminal output from running those commands, and then I turn them into scripts to install those apps the ones I want. And I have install fever anytime I start installing stuff, and I install too many things, just thinking, oh, that might be cool. And then, if you get some sort of error with the app or it needs configuration in some etc config files or something, then I wish I hadn't done it, because if it's something I don't even know if I want to use it or not. And sometimes, if you do too many, which I have done before, like on my Fedora 14 system, I did it for years, it's actually got way too much stuff. I got servers on there. Well, I was testing servers on there, so I got all kinds of stuff on there. Alright, so nothing should be mounted right now. I'm back up, but nothing should be mounted right now. And actually, okay, there you go. We're finally getting it on the video. I'll wait till the video catches up to where I'm actually at here. But yeah, nothing should be mounted, and I'll turn on the Seagate drive. Okay, now we'll get back on just the desktop so we can see it if it mounts this time. Okay, it's plugged in. Okay, I didn't realize I wasn't quite up to, it's getting to where I might as well get off that backup stream because it's behind. Didn't mount yet, so I got a feeling it's not going to. We don't have to just sit there with bated breath watching. I'm going to go ahead and open up my OBS Studio and get it to be the main stream. And I'll put it on desktop. Now I'm going to hit start stream. Now I think I will have to stop the other one before it will take over. But we'll see. If I remember right, that's what you got to do. Now my preview quit playing. Well, maybe it's taken over. You can set up streams to be either considered by OBS backup streams or main streams. Primary I think is the word they use. But from what I saw, it didn't really matter what they were considered in what you used. It's still whichever machine was already running was the one that kept doing the stream. So we'll see. But we are not getting, you know, any mounted. It didn't mount, and also I can see I'm still on camera view. So this machine is on desktop view, and the other one is on camera view. So it has turned itself into the backup stream. So, but I know what to do because I've done this a few times before. I'll just go over here and stop the other one, and then it'll make the desktop stream take over. Okay, oh, and it didn't mess up. It's still looking good. So could be that I installed some updates on this system. It could have fixed some of those problems. So I'm going to stop the stream, and it should switch over. It is really sluggish, though. It doesn't want to respond good. Probably catching it just in time. Well, maybe it's not working. I clicked on stop stream, but nothing's happened yet. So yeah, it doesn't work very well. That's why I got away from using it on this machine. It's really crazy. It just wouldn't make any sense to me at first. I was like, okay, my Lenovo, if I was a quad core with 4 gig of RAM, it works really well as long as I don't run too many things on the machine. My mom's machine that I'm building for her, 8 core with 8 gig of RAM, and it gets sluggish and the application gets to where it won't respond. It's what it's doing right now. It's actually to that the picture. I thought it was okay because the picture didn't look off or wrong, but you can't stop it. You can't do anything. It won't respond. So I can go to the but it's still streaming. But you can't kill it. So what I can go over here to the system in process, and that'll make it quit. And then I think I'll go ahead and I should be back on my normal stream here pretty quick. I'll go ahead and reboot this system too in case I need it again. But that didn't work very good. Okay. Okay, so I'm back on this machine, and what was I going to do? Oh, yeah. Well, my preview is in the middle of reloading. Usually, sometimes it'll get hung in reload mode, and you got to manually reload it to get it to work again, especially when the stream starts and stops. So, looks like it's going to be, well, maybe it's going to be okay. Okay, yeah. I didn't lose anything, it doesn't look like. Okay, so let's see about the drive, and we'll just try it again. I'm going to reformat it again. This time I need to remember to, can't type and talk at the same time. Can't chew gum and walk at the same time either. Can't walk and talk at the same time. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to reformat it, and I don't know if, actually I don't think I need to delete this partition. I just needed, there was 2 partitions and I wanted it down to 1. Okay, so make sure I'm on the right drive. So I'm going to the information still says it's got that error. It can't tell what kind of partition it is. And I am on the 7.28 terabyte drive, so I'm going to format to EXT4. See, I could do BTRFS, EXT2, 3, 4, F2FS. Of course, I wouldn't want FAT16. I could do FAT32, but not on this big of a drive. Then there's HFS, HFS Plus, Linux Swap, which wouldn't be of any use, LVM2, which wouldn't mount in anything but Fedora Linux automatically, NTFS, RiserFS, and then XFS. That's the things that I could do. Oh, and then there's something called cleared. Now, I don't know. I'm not sure. I think cleared is an actual file system. I don't think it means it's going to be cleared, but because there's a delete button on here. But that's one that I don't know anything at all about. But anyway, EXT4. Now, I'll go ahead and do it and then reset the drive, and hopefully we'll be all right. Okay. Now, as far, I didn't get a chance to try and give it a new label or anything, but let's just leave it, do it just like that. I can always relabel it. Okay, are you sure you want to apply the, yes I do. We'll go ahead and watch the output this time. So far so good. Calibrate, clear old file system signatures, set partition type, create new Ext4 file system. Okay, now you notice it's taking longer this time because I think maybe it's going to work right this time. I think it did actually. It said it was successful, but obviously I don't think it was. Something really went, I think it went wrong. I'm pretty sure it went wrong because I forgot after deleting those partitions, and it's a hard drive, not a flash drive. It's an actual spinning hard drive. Okay, now everything's green. There we go. I think I messed it up. So, do a screenshot of that. Now we'll go ahead and kind of look the basic stuff there. We can go ahead and make this big enough to see most of it. Tells you exactly step by step what it was doing. Yeah, make FS Ext4, that's the program it uses to do it. Okay, very good. Now, maybe we'll be all right. We might even just be able to mount it from right here, but I'm going to go ahead and reset it. It's still called Seagate Expansion Drive. Information, Ext4. Okay, so something really did go completely wrong before. So everything's good. Now, I don't know if it's going to have the same partition name as it had. I think it's going to have a different partition name. It may get one by default from the hardware or something. A lot of times that you can put a partition name in there and then you don't end up with it. Or if you put a name and it's just calling it name, but whatever it was called whenever I did it a while ago, some of that stuff will actually be overwritten when you can do it, and then it'll be overwritten. So I'm going to close GParted, go ahead and unplug it and plug it back in. If that doesn't make it remount, then I'll just stay on the desktop this time. If that doesn't make it remount, we'll see. Okay, unplug, wait for just a minute. Of course, it's not lit up. I don't know why I think looking would matter. Okay, now let's plug it back in. It should mount this time. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't. I thought I heard a little rattling noise like it was being read. There it is. 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 Yeah. Woo. Okay, so yeah, I think the whole thing I did wrong was not resetting it after deleting those partitions. Okay, so it gets a long, drawn-out ID number for Linux, and it's 8.0 terabyte volume. I didn't give it that, so that came from the machine, from the hardware. And I'm not going to use that file manager because I don't like it. I don't like that file manager, so we'll go into Krusader. And I think I'll switch back to my SM58 now because I like it better. And okay, should be good there. Get rid of the echo. You can't have them running both at the same time. Okay, now make sure we got sound and everything. Okay. And let's see. Should be able to go, yeah, 7.3 terabyte Seagate expansion drive. Now there's nothing on there but a lost and found folder. Oops. Oh, and you can't go into lost and found. Okay, now what would happen if Lucky, what should happen is if Lucky Backup ran, it's already ran. It's already tried. Well, it tried to, it probably, actually, you know what? I think what happens is if there's no drive there, if it doesn't see, it won't run if there's no drive. And if there's no drive there, I think it just shuts itself down. But it may have been, let's see. It's probably, it's just, it does it 10 minutes after I boot up, so it may have been 10 minutes. I don't know how long I've been fiddling around since the last reboot. But, so now that's a success. Good. So there you go. I mean, we could write a file to it or something, but actually what I was thinking about, like I said before, it really might, I'm going to need a break so I can't continue with video any more video anyway, but all this stuff like, well, you don't really want to back up a file while it's being written. Yeah, see my backup file being written there right now, my backup video. Since I started and stopped the video, then see that's 2.6 gigabytes, and then this one's only 220 something megabytes. But my stream is going to be all one long file. It didn't ever get broken, which is cool. That's only one reason I don't like doing that, though. Then my backups don't match my stream, and it's hard to figure that out if you actually needed them. But not the end of the world. But anyway, what it would do if I just leave this one plugged in and didn't plug in the 5 terabyte, then it would back up to it. But what I think I want to do is you go ahead and I can leave it plugged in, but I could turn it off, unplug it, and it won't be running. You know what it does is when you shut down the machine, it automatically turns itself off. Or if you unplug the USB drive, or if you unplug the power, of course. But so if I plug my 5 terabyte back in there, it'll still be the one getting backed up to. In the meantime, I can go ahead and back up the red black Valstar. It's being my server, so it's running 24/7. So I can go ahead and just let it run all night. No, I mean, there's enough data on there. It might take 2 or 3 days. I can let it run until it gets backed up, and then the newer files. Well, I need to back up the files from the 5 terabyte drive to the 8 terabyte, and also the files, all the new files each day from this system to it. So yeah, that sounds like the best plan. But now I'm dying to have a break now really bad, so and I'm going to have to eat. So I'm going to have to end this video, but that's going to be my new USB backup drive, released for a while, a good while. And and I think it'll be good to, I'll have to kind of see how much data is on the red black Valstar, see if it's going to, I didn't do it to the 5 terabyte because it was going to fill it up too much right away. And I wouldn't have room for all my videos that I'm backing up here. So I just left the old backups the way they were. But I really would like to free up those hard drives if I can to use them for other things. So we'll see. I'll figure it all out. So anyway, now it's going to be EXT4. And that should work good with all my Linux systems. And then I should be able to make it work with Windows too. All right. Well, I'm going to go and see you later.